Hello, everybody. This is Giovanni Felix. For those of you who don't know me or even know me, I don't really speak too much about my political opinions or my personal opinions on some things. But sometimes things happen that require you to speak out. Um, Even sometimes things happen that require you to scream out. Um, 20 years ago, when I was a sophomore at Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida, it was Christmas break, and I didn't go home for Christmas break, and I remember I was coming back from an event about 2 o'clock in the morning down Tennessee Street, and I was pulled over by two police cars, and was told to exit out of my vehicle. There was four policemen there, all guns drawn. Told to exit out the car. My back turned to them. I had to kneel down. Well, not kneel. Actually, get face down on the floor. Um, and I remember barely hearing some talking or whatever, and then a police officer asking me to get up and walk back to the squad car. That was kind of the end of the event. However, 2 weeks prior to that, actually a couple weeks prior to that, it was Thanksgiving, and I also hadn't gone home. A friend of mine who was courting this young lady who also went to Florida State University, she invited him over for Thanksgiving um, dinner. Her father and mother were going to be there, so he didn't want to go alone. Didn't want to feel that kind of pressure, so he invited me to come over. So we went, had a great Thanksgiving dinner. Um, the father of that young lady turned out to be the policeman that was there when I was pulled over. Um, so back to that event, I remember him pulling me to the side. He was the only African American officer there. The other three were white, and explained to me that a robbery had occurred in the area, and that they stopped me because a vehicle that was similar to mine was seen in the area in terms of where the robbery happened. So that was the thing. And I recall the most pressing thing that I remember was uh, when he was explaining to me. I'm looking at him, and he's just not even looking at my face. He's kind of darting his eyes at the other officers and looking extremely upset. Um, Come to find out a little bit later that the vehicle they were looking for, I had an 87 Camry, which there weren't that many 87 Camrys even back then, was even really close to the car that they were looking for. And in addition to the back window had been shot out, which obviously my car hadn't been done. So I remember just him profusely apologizing for that incident. And I'm just always been glad of that, how that incident ended. I did not watch any of the news coverage for the past couple of days about the murder of George Floyd. Let's get that correct. The murder. Um, I saw the footage. Friends tried to call me and talk to me about it. I didn't really say too much. I didn't watch any news coverage um, because, quite frankly, what's there for me to see? This is nothing new. Um, but I'm just done with this. This country has failed us meaning African Americans and minorities, for way too long and way too consistently. I'm at my wit's end in regards to what it is that I want to do or see. I can tell you one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to hear from any politicians and these talking mouthpieces that we've elected in good faith and they've done nothing. These politicians who, as soon as they get into office, their first task is to find out how they can get reelected. I don't want to hear anything unless it's policy tied to changing how America treats its minorities. Point blank. For law enforcement, if you are related to someone who's law enforcement, you're law enforcement yourself, it's great. to hear that you guys are incensed. And I know that not all of you in law enforcement are bad, but quite honestly, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. The presumption of innocence has been on your side way too long. And while it may not be you, the people you work with, a lot of them is them. So until you go ahead and work on the inside and figure out how to work that out, I really don't care. I don't want to hear from all the police chiefs all across the nation about how incensed they are, regardless of their color skin. For all the non-minority sympathizers, I know many of you are probably as incensed as I am, as many people are, and many people of color are, about what's been going on. And for your support, I thank you. For your kind words, I thank you. But the truth of the matter is, when you walk out the door, you don't have to worry about a knee being placed on your neck. You don't have to worry about getting shot. You don't have to worry about being handcuffed and then getting shot. All those have happened repeatedly in this country. You don't have to worry about a civilian shooting you and then saying that they were in self-defense, that they were doing it in self-defense. You don't have to worry about that. So while we appreciate the support, and I personally appreciate the support, thanks. Keep supporting us, keep helping us out, keep trying to get us to figure out how we can do better. But this is my life. This is every black man and woman's life out there. It's our reality. It's our everyday reality. I want to make it very clear that in no way, shape, or form do I condone violence, looting. But I also want to make it very clear. Those things are happening. Why? On Saturday the 30th, last night, more than 12 cities where there was rioting and protesting. It's because people are pissed. They're done. They're tired of seeing this over and over. Mr. Floyd was murdered on the 25th. On the 26th, protests started. Then some of the protests turned into some rioting or whatever. Not until the 29th was that police officer charged. Mr. Arbery, who was killed in, January? And they filed charges on just the regular civilians. When? On May 7th? Or it might have been February to May 7th, whatever. That's way too long. Keith Childress, Betty Jones, Kevin Matthews, Michael Noah Browning, Miguel Espinal, Jamar Clark, Alonzo Smith, Walter Scott, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd. Just a couple of names from hundreds of individuals who've been shot unjustifiably or killed in some other form or fashion by law enforcement. So 3.5 days of protests. Now are you listening? Is it now? What do I have to wait for? What do you have to wait for? Do we need to hear Antonio King, Giovanni Felix, Troy Curry, Marlon Burrell? Do we need to hear those names added before people finally give a damn? Before people finally decide to do something? I've been on the sidelines way too long. And I'm finally ready to do something. I don't want to attend any marches. I don't want to attend any rallies. I want to know what I can do right now. Which politician can I put my knee on the proverbial neck to pressure them to do the right thing, or to pressure them to get out of the way? Which aiders and abettors, companies that turn a blind eye and only stand up for social justice when it serves to make a profit? Who can I put my economic knee to pressure them into doing the right things and supporting the right causes? I didn't create this video for any likes. I didn't do it for the gram. I did this really because I want some suggestions. I'm not the smartest man in the room. I know there's plenty of you guys out there that might have some suggestions of what I can do. But time for discussion, it's over. Tell me what I can do. Let me know. If you don't agree with 100% of what I've said in this video, that's perfectly fine. It's probably not for you anyway. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everyone who sees this video, understands what I'm saying, and is tired of all the talk. Please let me know what to do. I know one thing. I'm going to find something to do differently because I'm a law-abiding citizen who has paid their fair share in taxes. And if there's anything I know about the United States of America is this: the mighty dollar is more important than anything else that's worshipped in this country, unfortunately. But I got to find a way to make some kind of change. Thank you for listening.